Hello, everybody. This is Nisha Padveen, representing Trade Promotion Council of India, and I welcome you all to this exclusive Tech Trailblazers series. And today we have with us Mr. Amitabh Nag, CEO of Bhashini, which is a significant step towards promoting digital inclusivity in India by making information and communication accessible across India's different languages, like bridging the gap between the Indian languages. So, Mr. Amitabh Nag is a thought leader and executioner, having over 30 years of experience spanning across business management, sales and marketing, and project execution in the field of IT. He has the distinction of managing business units which executed IT-led transformation programs. He has been associated with renowned companies like HP Incorporation and TCS in multiple roles, has worked in different industries like manufacturing, retail, BFSI, etc. Sir, I wanted to thank you for accepting our invitation and welcome you to the Tech Trailblazers series.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here, and that's what we are trying to do.
Yeah, and we're excited to hear your insights, about Bhashini and what is your vision about Bhashini. So without waiting any further, we can, start with the discussion. My first
Yeah, see,
question,
yeah, sorry.
my first question to you is, can you share insights into Bhashini's role in promoting linguistic diversity and preserving cultural heritage in India? And how does the platform facilitate language learning and cultural exchange across different regions of India?
So, our primary job, if you actually look at it, is that we translate one language to other, right? And we do that using digital tools, which is basically the artificial intelligence models delivered as application program interface, that is API, through a platform called National Hub of Language. Now, that's broadly what we are doing. Now, in the process, of course, this animates and ships out of in many cases because we are doing voice-to-voice translation and text-to-text translation and printed translation. We are ensuring that a person can collaborate, discuss, innovate with another person without language being the barrier. So the burden of learning yet another language is not there, right? So what eventually it means as an implication is that I can now, work, discuss, learn in my own language, which is my mother tongue, and you can do the same thing, yet we can communicate, while as in previous situation, we were supposed to learn yet another language to do that, right? And for our own professional progress, it was, on an international domain, it was primarily necessary to learn English as a language. So while everybody can still learn English, those who do not want to have an option today to communicate that across that. So in that sense, yes, the linguistic diversity is preserved. When people adopt the language and continue to use it, the language will, of course, improve over a period of time and things will get better. So that is the second part of it. And obviously, there is a culture which is involved in language because it goes deep into it. So it also helps in that. And the translation also help, one literature and other cultural uh, things which are available in one society to be exchanged in a different language with another society. So yes, in that context, over a period of your thinking about preserving linguistic diversity and cultural exchanges, right? So but although we are doing very small technical solution, it has got a lot of implications if you actually look at it from a perspective of how does it impact the society.
Right. And What innovative strategies, has Bhashini implemented to harness artificial intelligence for the betterment of society, particularly in empowering youth with 21st century skills?
Yeah, artificial intelligence at the base of it is more or less uh, a model, a computer-led model, which actually learns based on what data is available with him, and then it takes it forward in terms of delivering the outputs or outcomes which are there. But our innovation comes across on the phase when it gets deployed, right? So translation actually is done by multiple people uh, across the. There are translators which are available and they have been available for a very long time. But what we have tried to innovate is to take across onto the use case. So, and then try to deploy it and then try to say that, yes, this is working. So, for example, speech to speech translation is a use case deployment of the AI models. And then you started working, there were various challenges which came across translation in terms of translation, in terms of lag, in terms of issues with respect to the data, in data not being understood. And then we have tried to sort it out one by one, created more models, created pre-processing, created post-processing engines, which will ensure that we are delivering to that particular use case. So our vision with Bhashini is that, you should be able to do whatever you are doing in the day using where the language should not become a barrier, or you don't need not learn another language. So let me give you an example. For example, a student goes to the class, okay, he gets books in his native language, but in the evening he's supposed to deposit his fees. Now, if he has to go to the portal and deposit the fees and again learn English to deposit the fees, then we have failed in our objective, right? So our idea should be that when he's studying, his books is in his mother language. If the teacher is teaching in English and he understands, for example, Gujarati, then he should get the instructions in Gujarati instead of in English, right? Then when he fills up the fees, his portal is in native language. He is able to translate. He is able to do whatever transactions he wants to do, and then goes back into the entire system. So that is the life cycle of people we are trying to take up, and that means we are using this for doing transactions in the use cases. So that's very important for us as a system.
That is actually, amazing, be it in education or in business. So, moving forward, my next question to you, as Bhashini continues to evolve, so how does the platform, integrate startup innovation and technology consumption to address societal challenges effectively?
See, societal challenges, as she had said, we are a limited number of people working in the entire domain. There are limited set of activities which we will be doing. But the idea of proliferating this particular technology is actually through partnerships. So we are looking for partnerships, and we have got partnerships with various entities in government and private sectors who tell us that this is the problem which we are facing, right? In terms of what is creating a language divide and what is also creating digital and literacy divide. Because our system is enabled to actually transcribe speech to text, and it also speaks out when it does text to speech translation, you are effectively in a position to interact with the computer with voice, right? And when you are able to do that, you are actually in some way bridging the digital divide as well as the literacy divide, because a person can speak out and the things can happen. Now, if that is so, then there is a reimagination of user journey and the benefits which has to be thought of in this context. And that is that is these are the places where our partners, who can be state government, central government ministries, and even general public and everyone, can give us the problem statements which they are looking at to be solved. Now, each one of the use cases which are a problem statement which should be solved, our commitment or our idea is to provide the base platform on top of which the startups will start developing those applications. So in the previous context which we talked about, we talked about multilingual classroom. Now that's an application, more of an application because the translation APIs are provided. So it will use automatic speech recognition, it will use text-to-text translation, it will have text-to-speech synthesis. All of that will be combined to give him a solution, give a solution which will actually be multilingual classroom. So from that context, we are looking at startups to help us out and build these solutions who will be more near to the customer and make this as products, systems which will be used in future.
Thank you, sir. And as you're talking about collaboration, in what ways does Bhashini collaborate with government initiatives and welfare schemes to leverage technology for enhancing citizen services and accessibility?
Sure. So there are two examples which I will give, rather than giving a very generalized statement, which is yes, we collaborate. So there is a government initiative called Open Network Data Commerce, that is ONDC, which
Yes.
actually is looking at e-commerce, debundling the platform e-commerce things, entities, and then trying to act as a bridge so that there's a discoverability leads to a transaction which is agnostic to the platform where they are. Now, what we have done is that we have collaborated with them, and they have said that okay, these are the type of multilingual, voice-enabled use cases which we will have, and those use cases actually can be taken up, and we organized a hackathon with them. So that actually tries to see that can the e-commerce market be going to next 20 to 30% of the people, which is currently limited to the 20% people who know, who are digitally enabled and also know English as the primary medium. So that is a kind of thing which we are doing. So there are solutions which have been identified. Those solutions will be, placed by ONDC and can be used by other e-commerce players to actually move forward into the next level. Right? So that is one. The second part of the thing which we are talking about is how do we, interact and collaborate with government departments or welfare schemes, right? So I'll give an example that Prime Minister transfers under PM Kisan Samman Nidhi a certain set of money to the farmers for their benefits, and this is a direct benefit transfer. Uh, there are 11 crore farmers who get benefited out of it, and there is a possibility that 1% of it or 0.01 do not get the benefit in a right way, or they have some challenge with the benefits. Now, we have created a chatbot with Ministry of Agriculture where the person can say that bhugtan nahi hua, and it will take you through the identification routine and also tell you then that this is the reason why your bhugtan has not happened. So you go and link your Aadhaar card with PAN or get the land in your name. It is right now in your brother's name. That's why you have not got it. The exact reason, which otherwise would have taken him for him, he would have gone to the department, figured that out, then got an answer, or he would have been as a grievance. So this is an entirety channel by which we are integrating with the government. So two examples of different sorts. How do we collaborate with government initiatives? How do we integrate with welfare benefits?
So as as Bhashini have a lot of benefits for citizens. So if we were to like transition Bhashini to a paid service mode, how would it have an impact on businesses that utilizing its AI translation and database platform?
There are two or three things which we are looking forward to as we move forward. Obviously, there is expense involved in running the service, and there is a commercialization aspect which is there because there are entities who would gain by using this platform. They are either will either gain, like in case of e-commerce, they will gain in revenue, they will gain in exposure, they will gain in recall. So they need to pay for it because their revenues are getting increased because of that. So there is a quid pro quo which will be happening. But there is like Bhashini app, which is used for general services. It's basically an app which you can all the people can download and they can use it for translation and other transcription, which will be a general purpose app for every citizens which will be available. So that will fall in the category of citizen services which are given, and that uh, will be with limited facility will always be available. So we are in the process of categorizing the services which will actually be leading to revenues at the one end, and the services which are genuinely a citizen needs, and it should be basically categorized with that. So that's the whole idea about commercialization or monetization, which will go forward, and we will look forward how does.
Yeah, thank you for explaining that. And how does Bhashini envision contributing to India's digital infrastructure push, considering its role in leveraging technology for societal development and economy?
See, I think the earlier question and this one is related. Obviously, Bhashini is a digital infrastructure. Our AI models and data sets have been built up. So AI models which have been built up using the data sets are open source. The data set itself is open source, and there is a platform which can be redeployed anywhere as we go forward. Now, the way we have gone about it is also to create digital data where the digital data did not exist. So there are about 7, 8 languages on which the digital data is there. For the rest of it, we created digital data, perhaps first of its kind of initiative in the world. So there are many firsts in this world when we are looking at the project. We created digital data. We do voice-based payment transactions. We have created if you go to our website and say the language services supported, some of the services are very unique to what Bhashini does because of its focus on use cases. So this digital infrastructure is on anyway, and it is a country's digital infrastructure because it is funded by government.
Right. And can you also help us, know what is Bhashini's plan for future expansion and its vision for leveraging technology to address emerging challenges and opportunities in India? And could you elaborate on Bhashini's platform contribution to the advancement of artificial intelligence on a global scale?
From a perspective of, I'll answer the last question first. From a perspective of AI, we have already democratized AI to a large extent. There is crowdsourcing of data. There are a lot of examples with respect to what we have done in democratizing the AI as such. But when we take a step further in terms of how it will, be used, what are our plans for future? I think we have still a lot of things to do for specific use cases, and uh, our charter is full of use case deployments with applications, so that people are able to use it in all walks of life. Because we have proliferated into a system that we need to have a different language, learn a different language to do anything which we want to do. And hence, it is uh, not getting into not actually a situation where we have been, you know, we have tuned our systems as I said, to single language support, which is the third language, but we haven't tuned it to be a multilingual setup. So if we tune it to be a multilingual setup, but we have to perhaps inflect translation at uh, every joint. Where there is an interaction and there is a joint, we need to inflict translation. So our plan, if you actually ask me, is to ensure that we inflict uh, translation at every pieces, so that the linguistic diversity actually remains linguistic diversity, and still the society is collaboration enabled, communication enabled. Those are the points which we are will be moving through in the next 6 to 8 months, if you ask me. And then, of course, we would look at more complex solutions as we go by. But the bottom line which remains is to keep this, close to our type of society, our type of work, our type of, diversity, so that it remains, we remain there. So that's the plan. So means if I say that I have done about 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 use cases today, perhaps this has to go to 500 is what I would say. And that's the immediate focus.
Thank you so much, sir, for kind of accepting our invitation and like sparing time for us in your busy schedule. So for our viewers, I just hope that it is helpful for them. They get to know more about Bhashini and they can implement Bhashini in their daily life, be it individual or a business person. So thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.